In the weeks that have succeeded our first consultations and my introduction, in fact, to RELIQA, I have become particularly obsessed with Secrets of the Future and what we've been able to witness of it thus far. Its two predecessor pieces with respect to what we're humoring today, Killstar, The Cold World, and Terminal, both of which I absolutely loved. And I have been waiting, or dying, pun intended, for another opportunity to dig into RELIQA in terms of present-day offerings, with the promise I made earlier via Terminal, and I have resisted temptation, right, because I said we would do this, and this is a bit different from how I normally go about group consultations on first introductory basis. Many of you know when I come to a new group by name, I will, for the most part, take a historical respect to determining the selection of works we're going to recognize, and I'll dig back into the band's catalog. And I've seen, based on conversations surrounding RELIQA, that for any new arrivals like me, that is hopefully the expected path, right, but that it's rewarding all the same. And, of course, I do that for many other credits, and for RELIQA, I would never leave them out. Not just because they're a new name that I'd love to dig into, but based on what we heard together via Terminal and Killstar. In whatever approach you take, by the way. As I've always said, my core philosophy here, music is best enjoyed collaboratively and in mutual graces. I think it really enhances the performance of the art, which is my favorite artistic languages among many of the mediums available today. If you are, like me, a developing listener to RELIQA, or maybe a first-time arrival to their work, or you're a fan that advances me, I hope you feel welcome here. And that you have a place in exploring such a beautiful talent, I believe, of Australian origin. A first, in fact, I think, from that outlet, with group respect. But international talents, again, in the metal sphere, this is just such a beautiful place. I love metal. Metalhead in many years, but just the craftsmanship I see today in any styling, of which I believe RELIQA prefers a progressive metal lens, which I'm still admittedly digging into. But based on RELIQA's expertise and their definitive uniqueness, ambition, and beauty on musical scoring and lyrics, everything clicked with Terminal, Killstar. I loved those experiences. And I believe Dying Light is also floating that way in terms of individuality. I believe as well from what I saw referenced by Band Disclosure amongst their catalog. And I'm learning as I go, right? These new pieces are demonstrating RELIQA's evident proficiencies. But as time goes on, whenever that is, I have a chance to dig into their back catalog, or maybe more from Secrets of the Future. I'm open to it. Maybe even the full album. I don't know. God willing, it depends on how much time I have. But I will certainly listen to it for myself in whatever form that takes. Mutually or individual, I am leaning toward the former. We'll see, but this has become a new favorite group of mine. And I hope for you it's the same story. I think they'll prove themselves immediately with Dying Light. Again, just based on suspicion, or presumption's a better word. It was very easy to fall in love with RELIQA on two first-time listens, and to return to them, even better. Okay.
Step into the center of the dying light, claim it, make it rich, revitalize it till you purify.
I love that evident punk feel. Bit of a slower pacing of the lyrics here. Okay, quick shift. I love the harder riff. I'm thinking when I say slower pacing on the vocals, and Monique's got a great voice, compared to Killstar. Those were faster rap breaks. Beautiful darker undertones in it. That background catch, too, on the voice really catches my eye, or ear. It's a really interesting key hybrid to meld with the pacing of the song and the core of the riffs. There's so much life to every area of this song. Wow. Note choices and evident proficiency, I believe that, Monique. Those choruses, verses too, but the choruses really single themselves out.
I can make 'em hurt like
Begin to return, how nice.
shadows are the one you're casting down. Old friends come crawling back around. You wish that you could just stay in your head. But who are you without the company? Can't let them figure you out, but for now, set it up. 'Cause you know that I can make the rest roll back.
So much personality with this one.
Stay with it, never let them see you cry. Soak up all the lessons that you claim and follow it down the pipe. Ain't it such a waste to hide your shame when it's just a matter of time till they make your eyes roll back?
Oh my gosh, that closure too is fantastic. My keyword for this group really is individuality. I have not, I think, experienced a closure like that with a specific rap line with such natural articulation. That is to the credit of Monique. That rap is just beautiful. And to make sure that the pacing matches tone of a song, it's not, I could see maybe that the decision to put that line later. You know, I've kind of noticed that from other groups, maybe not necessarily in a rap-esque voice blended beautifully into metal, by the way. It's perfect here. And as I said with progressive metal, at least my general sense of it, individuality and experimentation is sort of its core philosophy, based on, namely, as I've seen, time signatures and key changes, but even pacing too. Metal really brings a lot in terms of musical adventurism, and rap, I've seen this from a couple other groups I've given analogies to in the past, like Fallen in Reverse, for example, of proficiency, and there's other ones as well. Maybe I've put on the list for later considerations, or ones I'm forgetting about by name at the moment, but RELIQA really stands out. That line, again, from other artists, I could see the temptation, and I've witnessed it before, maybe not necessarily again in a rap voice, but to make the chorus, well, actually, it's the verse, to make it an exact refrain, and maybe add on another refrain of the music, at least maybe for two or four measures, and then work that line in as the closure, it would drag out the experience. But instead, Monique chooses to weave that in and constrict it, but match the pacing to a chord with the song so it ends right on time. It's just such a unique choice to me that I can't shake that effect. Now, it's a great song in every area, score-wise, of course, and there's a beautiful riff back into it that doesn't stray too much from its identity. It's certainly on its pace, except for when that I notice it most evidently switches on part of the chorus. And you know, that's true to the respective Terminal and Killstar as well. I wonder if that's existent with their entire catalog in consideration, that their choruses are what really stand out with their numbers. Their verses do too, but the choruses are so advanced. Lyrically, the technicality to her lyrics and the note matches, the shifts too on certain words. I mean, there might be 3 or 4 note shifts on Shadows, and it's just perfectly molded to pace of song and beauty of word. I freaking love that area of the song. And what was the second? But who are you without the company too? That the descent again on the note choices. That chorus really stands up to me. It's sort of do I want to call it the core of the number? Because then it feels like I kind of don't want to say that, because I don't want to risk, again, overshadowing the ever points of strength this number readily boasts, and that being evident by different verse sections or bridge areas. But if we are going to regard the choruses just in isolation, RELIQA boasts some pretty work. But their entire pictures in terms of musical score really do bring me in, and Monique's vocals are just shining here. Pitch, control, choice again on the rap pacing. She beautifully delivers every line, every word just clear. No part of this muddled, overridden by the music. It just, everything works in complement. And the breath sections of the choruses act as, with the slower pacing, well, I think the some of the verses preceding it too, like the call it what you want, I think slowed down too, if I'm remembering that correctly, and I might not be. But there's evident points for there to be a pause, and it works for the pace of the number very effectively in a way that doesn't lessen at all the experience, because at the same time we consider the other superficial attributes, for example, note changes and pacing, with match up to the score evolution. There's a real creativity to RELIQA's work, and Dying Light, and the experiences we've taken so far, maybe is closest to Killstar, I think, just based as well on 2 chorus refrains, and not 3 like Terminal. Terminal definitely comes across as more mainstream structured, though again, it has ready ambition that's most evident, but the 3 chorus pattern, that is a traditional mechanism for many pieces, so it rolls by that. But Killstar definitely tried something different, and the pace changes there too, not as much key changes. Some, I think, slight ones here, but the ready experimentation, it's not at all lost of Dying Light on voice. It's so charming, again, on a third encounter. Secrets of the Future continues to get even more interesting. I forget how many total tracks we have on the record, but at least I think it may be a fourth of what we've heard of it, but if it's 12 numbers in total, I might have that wrong. Just going off memory, it is a beautiful picture we're being painted right now. With more to come as far as the album debut, and will we return to it? We'll see. But certainly RELIQA, oh absolutely. I cannot wait to dig more into the history of what set them up to the point they're at today at some later date, whenever that is. I got my catch-up work to do in the meantime for other groups, but we're definitely coming back to RELIQA. In the short term of Secrets of the Future, maybe somewhere, not too distant future, but another time of their history, we'll see. But I'm really curious to hear more from them, just considering those first 3 pieces have been quite an experience in themselves, and I hope for you it'd be a similar regard. If I do want to speak for anybody, because music is first and foremost a subjective art, and I'd readily allow your thoughts and perspectives on this down below, whether, again, you're a fan that advances me, or another newbie or developing listener like myself in your early days. And I'm sure that it'll be a continuing journey. I'm really taking a liking to RELIQA. The voice is very much specified in terms of what I have in my library right now. It's different. It's got enough of a metal harmony and understanding language of our articulation and creativity in that respect, and loose familiarity to other groups. I say loose because, again, RELIQA individually has their own vision of where they go with their numbers. And it's unapologetically, not just bombastic, I've used that word before, it's a perfect descriptor for the way their scores take control, and have such a strength and aggressiveness behind, namely the riffs, as well as the vocal pacing with the rap stuff. That just, it sounds beautiful from Monique, too. Again, whenever she delivers that, and the choices here with constraint and constriction on certain lines to fit it with the pattern of the songs so the music directs on score, it just... I'm quite delighted by the structure that this group employs to any of the pieces we've witnessed so far in Terminal, Killstar, Dying Light. I'm sure other pieces we're going to recognize will also consider that same viewpoint. And certainly on Secrets of the Future, I have no doubt it's going to be an impressive album just based on these first 3 teasers we've gotten. And it's quite a welcome entrance to be taking, as it is for any group here that I recognize, and RELIQA absolutely no exception, and I can't wait to hear more from them. The setup has been beautiful, and it continues to be quite an adventurous and fun journey that I love taking with you, and that will continue, I'm sure, for the time we have in the future in store for more RELIQA consultations, and I'm looking forward to that immensely. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.